Hello, and welcome to the TT and Tater podcast. I'm Troy, and this is Tater.
Hi.
In this episode 2, we're going to be talking about the Michigan's national championship. Kick it off, Tater.
Hi, my name is Mateo, but you can call me Tater. The Michigan Wolverines beat the Washington Huskies in the national championship. They started it off with Donovan Edwards, aka one of the best running backs in college football next to Blake Corum, with 2 touchdowns, one for 41 yards, and the other he ran for 46 yards.
Let me add on to that. The 46-yard tutty is the second in national championship history, with right behind Derrick Henry's, I think, 50-yarder.
So that's second longest touchdown in national championship history for that fun fact. But Blake Corum was also our real rushing leader with 2 touchdowns, rushing for 134 yards. J.J. McCarthy, our beloved quarterback who is declaring for the job, along with Blake Corum and a couple other guys who we'll get to that later. He threw for 140 passing yards, but 0 touchdowns, sadly. And that's Michigan stats for you. TT, you take Washington stats.
Okay, to Washington. First, Michael Penix Jr., a.k.a. the worst freaking quarterback in college history, threw for 255 yards with 1 touchdown and 2 pickaroonies.
Well, let me stop you there. I wouldn't say he's the worst college football quarterback in
He has
college
huge
football.
hands, dude.
I know. Those hands are massive. Like, they're big boy hands. Let's leave those to Ohio State quarterbacks for being the worst quarterbacks in all of college football, because we're Michigan fans.
And also with those 2 picks, the first one was Will Johnson, the second play out of halftime. Well, first was the kickoff. Then Michael Penix Jr., which you say isn't the worst, threw it straight into Will Johnson's hands.
Well,
And
it was...
Wait. The second pick was from Mikey Sanders still, which it was the game winner.
That one was kind of his fault. He overthrew his receiver straight into Mikey Sanders. But it's the moment. You're in a very loud stadium with a bunch of pumped up Michigan fans.
I don't care.
National championship. I'm just saying, it can get a little pressurous for a quarterback, especially like last year and Frankenmuth. That was a very pressurous moment for me.
Okay.
But we still pulled out with the W. Okay.
Their leading rusher was Dylan Johnson with 33 rushing yards. Their leading receiver was Rome Odunze with 87 yards.
Both teams had a ton of yards, but Michigan having 443 total yards and Washington having 301. There's a lot of offense, but just want to add this on to our rushing game. Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum combined had more yards than Washington's total offense.
Is it all right if I ask some questions?
Yes.
Okay, first, where do you think J.J. McCarthy is going to for college?
For the NFL, there's a ton of teams that need quarterbacks.
I'm saying Raiders.
Could be. I mean, who's their quarterback right now? Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, he could go there. I highly doubt it. I'm thinking somewhat more maybe Commanders.
You know what would be the best thing to ever happen?
What?
Tom Brady coaching Michigan.
Oh yes. We will. We'll get into.
I think he is going to the Raiders because Tom Brady bought half the Raiders.
Yes. 1% of it.
Oh, whoa, Tater.
Yeah. I do
That's
want to get
still a
into
lot of
this
money.
thing. Though. That sadly Jim Harbaugh, along with our defensive coordinator and our quarterback coach, they are leaving for the Los Angeles Chargers. I do wish him well. Hopefully, I mean, he's that dedicated again.
He was our defensive coordinator and our quarterback coach.
Yep. He's that dedicated again Super Bowl, especially if Michigan's offering $121 million just to keep him. I do still wish him well, and maybe he can get a Super Bowl. But I kind of hope if it doesn't work out for him, which I hope it doesn't work out for him because I'm not a big fan of the Chargers either. I hope he comes back to Michigan, and maybe if I play there and me and you play there, we can have him as our coach, which he'll be 70 by then. He'll be an old man, but hopefully he can return to Michigan maybe for one more season.
I think the best thing for them would be winning a national championship and a Super Bowl. That is like every man's dream.
Yep. Which I hope he does. But now to switch topics, can I ask you the same ones?
Mm-hmm.
But this will just be one question. I only have one thing on my mind. How do you think Washington did overall?
That's a good one. I think they could have played better, honestly.
Okay. Yeah. Just one more. Actually, we could save that for another episode. More about maybe like the college football playoffs, NFL playoffs, which we covered that earlier.
We will be covering
The hidden Easter egg in our logo is Mike Shrek in the top left corner.
To finish it, early in the second
listening,
half, Will
and I hope you
Johnson
have a
had an
wonderful day.
interception, and late in the fourth quarter, Mikey Sanderson had a game-winning interception.
And now you know the stats of the national championship. I hope, and the game itself. Thanks for listening to the TT and Tater podcast, and I hope you enjoyed.
Did you find the Easter egg in our logo?